It's Tennessee, it's Kentucky. How the Volunteers are going to get back on track and jump into the win column.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into it, your Friday morning Locked On Vols. I am your host, Eric Cain. So glad to have you guys along for the ride. Been a busy week, been a wild week, but hey, football is tomorrow. So let's get you set for Tennessee and Kentucky. That is what this Locked On Vols is going to do right here. Keys, predictions, players to watch, all that and more coming up in segment number 1. Our 2-part conversation with Boogie Bentley of the Talking Vols Network coming up in segments 2 and 3 of today's show. I'm your host, Eric Cain. Thanks so much for making Locked On Vols your first listen, your first watch each and every single day. We're a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every single day. And today's episode is brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected, the unpredictable is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights of this week's Moving the Game Forward Mazda Move and Be Moved. All right, so Tennessee and Kentucky at the time of this recording. Tennessee that line continues to drop a little bit. I'm not really sure why. Over there, our friends at FanDuel Sportsbook to 7.5. Tennessee is a slight touchdown favorite on the road at Kentucky. We know Kentucky is 2-4 in 2-4 overall in the season, 0-4 in Southeastern Conference play. This is a Kentucky team that played Ole Miss pretty well, played Texas very well last week, and so it's a scrappy bunch. Offensively, it's not a very good football team. We'll talk with that more on that with Boogie later in the show. I think it's a great opportunity for Tennessee's defense to go and show out, pick up some confidence, and do what you need to do to play at your best, or play better at least throughout the rest of the 4 or 5 games left on the schedule. So we'll see exactly what happens. But I think this is a game that Tennessee can go up there, and typically they're close games under Josh Heupel at Kentucky. We're talking like 1-score games. It was in 23. It was in 21. It was a shootout. Last year, Tennessee won by 10 at home, and 2022 is the only other year. 2022 is the only year under this regime that it's been a complete blowout, and it was 40-something to 6 in favor of Tennessee. So I'm intrigued to see what this iteration of the rivalry looks like. But I do think Tennessee is the significant better football team, and I'm not sure that Kentucky is going to be able to slow down this offense much. So you don't play the game on paper. Obviously, we talk about that all the time, but I'm intrigued to kind of see what this kind of looks like. Keys to the game for me, Tennessee's got to start fast. Tennessee is a fast-starting football team. It was not a fast-starting football team against Alabama, and I'm talking both offense and defense too. Tennessee allowed a first-quarter touchdown to Mississippi State. Tennessee allowed a muff punt against Mississippi State. Tennessee allowed a touchdown off a muff punt, Mississippi State. Tennessee allowed a first-quarter touchdown to Georgia. But outside of those things, Tennessee's been a really good defensive first-half football team until you went to Alabama and played Alabama. And still, you allowed, a touchdown in the first quarter as well. So, and we know what Tennessee's offense has been like for the most part in the first quarters this year. I just think it's important to be a fast-starting football team, to put any doubt that you might be looking forward to Oklahoma more, or not over the loss from Alabama more. Like, put any doubt of that away in the first few minutes of the game. Go out there and win the game in the first few minutes of the game. The old adage goes, you can't win a game in the first couple of minutes, but you can certainly lose a game in the first couple of minutes. Go win the game in the first couple of minutes. I think Tennessee should and is good enough to, of course, go and accomplish that. Another key to the game for me, get after the quarterback. Cutter Boley does not stretch the field vertically, so I think middle of the field, linebackers, safeties, star players, as always, it's going to be a challenge, because he's going to throw a lot of short intermediate, and that's kind of in his wheelhouse. He's got 3 pass plays where he stretches the field 20 yards or more on the season. It's not very good. So you don't have to bail so much on 3rd and 2 if you're in zone. Like, know that, right? Know that. No down and distance, no situation. This is game 8. Kind of know what you're working with here. You got a quarterback that is not going to stretch the field vertically. Now, you still got to cover your guys and respect the options, but just know this is a guy that's going to be very much wanting to throw it in the short to intermediate route. So middle of the field players, collision your receivers, knock them out their routes, disrupt the timings, and get to work. Okay? Middle of the field players defensively is certainly a key. They need to come ready to play and know the limitations for a Cutter Boley. And then my final key to the game, offensive line-wise, you got to play better. This offensive line has played very good this year. I'm intrigued to see if Tennessee's going to continue rotating on the offensive line like it did every possession of the first half against Alabama, which makes no sense to me. I fully expect David Sanders to continue to get more reps, but could we see the traditional or the starting five that they were going to begin the season with more on a routine basis, with Sanders at right tackle, Jesse Perry at right guard, Wendell Moy at left guard, and Lance Hurd, and of course Sam Pendleton on that offensive line as well? I'm intrigued. I hope we see that combination more in this football game, and I hope they don't rotate as much. Offensive line is a group that you don't need to rotate. You just don't. You just don't. It's in order, like, sure, you can keep guys fresh, keep guys ready to roll, but that doesn't need to be a true rotational position. Of course, I'm not making $1 million to coach the offensive line, so nobody ask me. But if the offensive line plays better, again, went into the Alabama game tied for the SEC low in 4 sacks, okay? Gave up 4 sacks in that football game. Gave up 2 sacks in the first half. 3 sacks in the first half. Got to play better. Get back to who you are. Play better. The run game is going to come off that. And, of course, we get Joey Aguilar back into his normal rhythm where he was kind of off-kiltered all game long at Alabama. So those are some of my keys to the game. Again, run the football, win the trench battle, win the turnover battle. I mean, those are the maxims, right? I mean, that's, those can be keys to every football game. But some of those I mentioned I think are very important in this football game. Players to watch: Deshaun Bishop, why he's hotter than a hiccup right now. He has rushed for over 100 yards each of the last 2 games. His mind is right. I asked him how he's feeling physically. He said, "I'm blessed." I said, "No, how you feeling physically?" He said, "I'm blessed." So he's ready to go. He's feeling good physically. He's in a great headspace. He's playing great football right now. So Deshaun Bishop is obviously a player to watch in this football game. Give me Joshua Josephs. I think this could be a big game for Joshua Josephs. And give me an under-the-radar guy, Andre Turrentine. Oh, yeah, I said it. I think a guy like him, middle of the field player on defense, can go off in a game like this. And there's opportunity. There's opportunity to get some good vibes and some confidence moving on throughout the rest of the season, because offensively, Kentucky just doesn't have, a whole lot. I'll actually save my prediction because I'm going to talk about it at the very end of the show with Boogie Bentley, but I got Tennessee winning this game, obviously, and we will see exactly how it does it. I think Tennessee wins this game, but certainly can't go out there and sleepwalk, certainly can't go out there assuming you win this football game. It's disrespectful to your opponent, and Kentucky's going to get somebody at some point. Almost got Texas last week. Don't let that be you. Like I said, key number one, go win this game in the first couple of minutes. We'll see if Tennessee can do just that. We'll continue this conversation with Boogie Bentley of the Talking Vols Network as we continue on your Friday Locked On Vols. This episode is brought to you in part by our friends over at Mazda. Mazda moving the game forward for those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining the game. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, they move culture, they keep moving the game forward. This week's moment that moved the game forward, it's not really this week, and this is a bit of a touchy subject. I'm going away from football because the biggest story in all of Tennessee athletics has not been on the football field this week. It's been Tony Vitello, obviously going to be the manager of the San Francisco Giants. What he did for the Tennessee baseball program, he truly moved the program, moved the game, moved everything forward. Incredible run, 8 years, and it's unfortunate it's coming to an end here at Tennessee, but understandably going to be one of 30 managers in Major League Baseball. So from recruiting, from offense, from pitching, from SEC championships, from super regional appearances, 5 straight, to 3 of the last 5 College World Series, and of course, a 2014 national championship, Tony Vitello moved the game forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda vehicle. Mazda is where you can move and you can be moved. Boogie Bentley, welcome on for his annual during football season Friday morning segments. We like to phrase it Locked On Talking Vols. He's the host of the Talking Vols Network, where he goes live several times a week. Boogie, it's been a strange week. There is football, and I know that you make the jokes. I'm not making fun of you. You make fun of yourself for this. You don't do basketball on your channel. You don't do baseball on your channel unless it's like a watch party or something. So maybe this week hasn't fazed you, but it's not been a whole lot of football for me. Tennessee does have a football game this week, and I think it'll be nice for the fan base to get back to some normalcy, and hopefully this Tennessee football team gives them a lot to cheer about.
You laugh and say hopefully. We need a win. We need some type of win. You're coming off of a loss to Alabama. The fan base already up in turmoil over that, and then Tony Vitello off to the major leagues. Yeah, we don't cover baseball, I don't cover basketball, but you have to talk about it, right? Because it was big news in the world of Tennessee athletics. This fan base needs a win, and what better team to go get a win against than little brother. We're Kentucky's daddy for a reason. I sell a t-shirt at bonfire.com/store/talkingballs that says we're Kentucky's daddy, because you just look at history, look at the track record. I expect Tennessee to go up here and take care of business, but don't be surprised if it maybe isn't as pretty as you expect, because that tends to happen when we go on the road and go to Lexington. So I still think Tennessee takes care of business this weekend.
Well, both games under Josh Heupel in Lexington have been one-score games. Last year was, a 10-point win. The only blowout in the Heupel era against Kentucky was in 2022 when Tennessee won like 40-something to 6 and just beat the brakes off of them. Typically, these games here lately have been kind of close. I don't think this is a very good. I think they're scrappy, and it wouldn't shock me if Kentucky got somebody this year. Like they play Ole Miss. They got Ole Miss last year. They played Ole Miss tough earlier this year. I think this is probably one of the worst teams Mark Stoops has had in recent memory, at least. Tennessee needs to, as you pointed out, go up there and kind of release some frustrations. End of the day, good teams go up there and they punish teams that aren't very good, and that's what I'm expecting, and that's what needs to happen. If you're Tennessee, don't go up there and play with your food. Don't go up there and have mistakes and try to beat yourself. I mean, no, this is game 8. Go up there and do what you're supposed to do, and I'm intrigued to see if Tennessee can do that.
Yeah, I mean, you got everything still to play for, right? It starts with Kentucky. You got Oklahoma. You got to find a way to beat Vanderbilt at the end of the year. I never thought I was going to say that in 2025, but here we sit. You got to go on the road and win in the swamp, but it all starts with Kentucky. Is Stoops, it almost seems like, man, he's just on his way out the door. And I always thought he was a perfect fit for Kentucky because the expectations are so low there. And I don't think Mark Stoops is some national championship coach, but I think he's a good coach, and I think Kentucky's a good fit for him. But it certainly feels like they just don't have it this year. Now, something that is worth mentioning for me is this is the definition of a trap game. It is, right? Because we're what are we talking about this week? We're not even talking about the game. Everybody's talking about Tony Vitello, and I get it. It's big news, but it's Kentucky. Who cares, right? It's Kentucky. You're coming off of a heartbreaking loss to Alabama, a loss that you were in that game more than most people are giving you credit for. You shot yourselves in the foot. I talked about this on my show earlier in the week. If I told you could pick 5 plays in the Tennessee-Alabama game, you can probably pick 5 plays and come out with Tennessee, maybe even on top in that game. That's how close the game actually was. And then next week you got Oklahoma, and everybody's talking about that Oklahoma game. Of course, you got the history with Josh Heupel in Oklahoma. They're looking for revenge after the loss last year. This is the definition of a trap game for Josh Heupel going up to Lexington.
Yeah, keep talking because I'm trying to find the spread, the updated spread at the time of this recording.
Last I checked, it was 8.5. But look, that doesn't mean I think that Tennessee's going to go to Lexington and get beat. It doesn't mean – it's just a game that I had circled on my calendar strictly for the placement in the schedule. Don't let Alabama beat you twice, and that's what you worry about after. Man, that's a heartbreaking, emotional loss a week ago. But the last time I looked, Tennessee was favored by 8.5. I've seen it at 9.5, and I've seen it at 8.5. I don't know what it is right now.
It's gone down right at the time of this recording. Again, it can fluctuate. It's at 7.5. So Tennessee a slight touchdown favorite on the road. And that total continues to go down too. That total is interesting. And I know Kentucky doesn't score any points, but 53.5, it still seems low. Right?
Their offense is awful. It is really bad.
Offense is awful. Again, I've been a little. I feel like I haven't done my job very well this week in terms of being a football reporter. Calzada started the season, got hurt against Ole Miss. I think he missed a couple of weeks. He's been back here last couple of weeks. It's just been Cutter Boley, right?
Yeah, and Cutter Boley has 4 touchdowns on the season. You know how many touchdowns Joey Aguilar had against Georgia? He had 4. Chris Brazzell has more receiving yards. So I don't care who's in at quarterback. You mentioned, it's kind of been back and forth. I don't care who's playing quarterback because they're receivers. Chris Brazzell has more receiving yards than their top 3 receivers combined. Chris Brazzell has more touchdown receptions than their entire team combined. They're just – and I get it. Stats and numbers aren't everything. But when you're over halfway through the season, I think it's worth something. They're just terrible on offense. And I know Tennessee struggles on the road. They struggle to get going on the road offensively. I don't think that's the case on Saturday in Lexington. Do their fans even care? Will they even do they care at this point?
I think they care about this game.
It's their Super Bowl, right? This is their bowl game.
I've been avoiding that phrase.
It's
all
the
week
reality.
long.
It's the truth, man. It's the truth. If they beat Tennessee and don't win another game, then they get to brag about that. Like, that's how miserable they are. But it is. It's their bowl game. It's their Super Bowl. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I mean, certainly I wouldn't characterize Kroger Field as a tough place to play, but it will get loud and obnoxious and choppy a little bit just because of the game, the rivalry. This is the biggest game of the calendar every single year for Kentucky. So, and again, those games in Lexington have been pretty close here the last couple of years. So hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, offensively, I mean, they run the ball okay. Seth McGowan, New Mexico State transfer, he's been a nice addition. But yeah, I mean, Kendrick Law coming over from Alabama, he leads the way, but it's not a good receiving corps. It's you've got an offensive line that's given up several sacks. They play 2 tight ends. Neither one of them are, stretching the field vertically. Cutter Boley's 3 of 23 throwing the ball 20 yards or more down the field this year. That's a stat that stuck out to me earlier this week. Like, the down the field passing where Joey excels, not the last couple of games, but overall in the season, Cutter Boley literally has 3 completions on the year of 20 yards or more. I mean, that is just mind-boggling to me that's it. I mean, they played 7 games. Like, that's all they've got.
So what happens? I know you've been busy with your binoculars. You're in the bushes. You're looking around Lindsey Nelson Stadium trying to figure out what
usually,
Tony Vitello's doing.
So I bought some heavy duty binoculars because I'm blind, and I got them for like the press boxes. Like when I'm in the press box covering football games, the tiny little binoculars I've used for 5 years, 6 years. I just don't like them. They suck. So I bought these big old heavy duty binoculars, like bird watching binoculars. And when I'm over there at fall ball, whenever Tony Vitello was the head coach and everything was normal, I'm like, oh, who's that player? Oh, okay, let me just pull these out right here. Let me kind of hide. Okay, that's who that player is. Let me put the other day, no shame. I'm just over here staring. What's Tony doing? What's on? Is he crying? No, he's not crying. Twitter says he's crying. He's not crying. Like, what's going on over here? Like, look at no shame whatsoever. So anyway, continue with
bird watching. You're bird watching. See, I would call you George McFly, but I don't even know if you don't even know who George McFly is, do you? I guarantee you. What were you doing, George? Bird watching? Is that what you were doing? Do you know who George McFly is?
Buddy, don't insult me.
I'm just making sure.
Don't insult me like I don't know the Back to the Future trilogy.
Okay, thank the good Lord above. I'm just making sure.
Back to the Future 3, 10 times better than Back to the Future 2.
Okay, well, I said don't insult me. Well, I don't know. At least you didn't say 1.
No, well,
I don't know, man. Going back to the Wild West.
It's like Star Wars. Like, you got to respect New Hope. Like, that's Star Wars, okay? Back to the Future 1, I mean, that's Back to the Future. That's where everything begins. I mean, it's kind of like if you say 1 is better, if one of the other 2 movies are better than the first one, it's insulting. I think typically it kind of goes like this. I think the second ones are never very good, the sequels. If you continue to go on, I think you have a chance to get better. I thought the third one, and I know this is what everybody loves when you and I talk on Friday mornings, is we just get off the rails. I love the third one, the Old West. I mean, that's awesome, man. I was vibing with that movie. Mad
Dog Tannen, is that who you like? Biff Tannen, Mad Dog Tannen. Anyway, can we? What are we talking about? See, I want to start talking about Rocky because you talk about the first one being the best one. Is the first Rocky movie the best one? A lot of people argue that's classic cinema. That's magic. That's storytelling. It is. But Rocky IV is the best Rocky movie of all time. Okay, did you
were talking about me and my binoculars being preoccupied. You were going back to football at some point.
Yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about. I don't know why I was talking about binoculars. I don't know. Oh,
you were saying you've been preoccupied over baseball with your binoculars, and then I went on my whole thing. So.
See, I never did figure out last Friday what I was going to talk about from the Rocky Top Roundtable. I still don't know what I was going to talk about, but I did remember this. What I was going to say is you've been busy covering Tony Vitello. I don't know if you've got a pulse on the fan base. There are a lot of people that are angry and upset and ready to pack up shop, and they're ready to get rid of Tim Banks. And I get it. This defense has to be better. This defense has to improve. For me, I'm not ready to move on from Tim Banks. Tim Banks needs a gut check. Tim Banks needs to assess himself the same way that this offensive staff did in the offseason. I think this offensive staff made changes from 24 to 25. And yeah, Joey Aguilar is a big part of that, but I also think schematically they made changes. I think Tim Banks needs that same type of gut check moment. So we're sitting here in the first segment of the show and we're talking about how bad the offense is, how bad Kentucky is, how bad they are throwing the football. If Tennessee goes up to Kentucky, if Tennessee goes up to Lexington, and they struggle, do you put more gas on the fire for Tim Banks if he can't stop an offense that we're sitting here both downplaying and mocking and saying is not very good? How much more pressure do you continue to put on Tim Banks?
Let's talk about that. Let's hit the reset, talk about that, talk about where fans are right now in terms of the 5-2, 2-2 season, college football playoff aspirations, all that and more when we continue here this Friday morning, Locked On Vols. It's almost the weekend. Time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered. Powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order, these players deliver when it mattered the most. Let's break it down. For Tennessee, who else are we going to go with from last week other than Deshaun Bishop? He delivered in a big way. 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's been really, really good the last 2 weeks, but honestly, Deshaun Bishop's been really good all year long. It's been fun to watch him play, been fun to watch him grow, and really since, watching that freshman at Carnes High School take over the Knoxville football scene to seeing him walk on at Tennessee and now being Tennessee's running back and standing out in terms of Southeastern Conference play, it's been pretty cool to see. It's no streak. He's been doing it all year long, no hesitation, no delay. And just like Deshaun Bishop delivers for the Tennessee Volunteers, DoorDash delivers for your Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks, where you can save every Saturday you order, stack it up all season, and you can save up to $250, including a $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday, keep the streak alive, fuel your game day, only with DoorDash. Terms apply, promo period ends November the 18th. FanDuel Sportsbook offers something for everybody. NFL Sundays, so much fun. Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football last night, college football on Saturdays, college basketball coming up. I mean, there's something for everybody. Plus, you can get futures in there for, hey, anybody want to wager anything on Tony Vitello's first year as manager of the San Francisco Giants? There are futures available over at FanDuel Sportsbook, or there will be here pretty shortly. Again, I love to dabble in the numbers. I love to follow my fantasy football players on Sunday afternoons, and I do all that and more, plus put coins in my pocket over at FanDuel Sportsbook. And right now, new customers can bet just $5, get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right, pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you're going to unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and get started. That's FanDuel, where you can make every moment more. So, Boogie, you were saying there as we ended segment number 1 of our 2 segments hit here on a Friday morning, Locked On Vols meets Locked On Talking Vols meets Talking Vols, the network with Boogie Bentley, every single Friday morning right here on the show. Yeah, I mean, what an opportunity for Tennessee's defense. I mean, I said earlier in the week, like, even if you're playing an inferior opponent, an inferior offense, like, even back when I played forever ago, like, it does something mentally for you. You go out there and you punish them. You go out there and you play well. You win big. You make plays, and you're feeling good about yourself. And oh, that offense isn't very good. Like, okay, I still feel good about it. You see that tackle I made? You see me close that speed right there on that slant over the middle? Like that stuff still matters psyche-wise. And I think this is a great opportunity for Tennessee's defense to pick up some confidence. And you're right. If I'm fully expecting there to be a busted play or a missed tackle and a long touchdown run. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be 40-something to 6 like it was in 2022. And that defense was, I mean, I'm not going to compare the stats, but from a player personnel-wise, woof, compared to the guys Tennessee has on the field right now. I'm not saying it's going to be like that, but like I think this needs to be a pretty good showing. So if it's not, it's going to be really disappointing in my opinion, because there's been nothing that Kentucky has shown offensively. I'm not talking defense. Offensively, there's been nothing that Kentucky's shown offensively that would say, oh, well, they're okay. They did this. They had a great game running the football against so-and-so. Like, there's just no evidence to support that. So to answer your question, I think it won't help matters. That's for sure. But I think it would be such a missed opportunity, because you're going to need your defense to continue making plays, whether it be takeaways, sacks, whatever. Like, do what you do best. You're going to need Tennessee doing what it does best. It's going to give up a lot of points maybe against John Mateer and Oklahoma next week. But you need your defense to go and continue to do what it does best. And you want to pick up some confidence this week. I think it's just a great opportunity in that regard, to where go out there and win the game, but go out there and pick up some confidence defensively, because you're going to need it.
Yeah, I like that mindset. Pick up some confidence, use it on the backstretch down this college football playoff run. It's win or done, win or go home. You want a shot at the college football playoff, you got to win out. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't know how I feel, man. Like last week, I saw a path to victory for Tennessee. I saw a path for improvement for this defense. And I know Ty Simpson's been really good, and he was really good, but I thought Tennessee would be able to get after him and pressure him. And I start looking at Kentucky, and it's like, you have the same path. Obviously, that did not happen last week. I got yelled at Wednesday night. Boogie told us we were going to get after Ty Simpson, and we didn't. Sorry, man. I didn't give a good enough pep talk in the locker room.
I know. I was going to say, like
Saturday.
The GQ is obviously a glorious place, but during games and after the loss, but the mods said this. They said that the line of, and all week long that was my main talking point. When Tennessee gave me my talking points for the week, that was it, right? And that's why it's so disappointing, and that's why the game's not played on paper. I mean, Tennessee I thought had the edge on the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively, and that was just not the case, and that's unfortunate. And you hope that they can kind of get back to who they are this week against Kentucky. But you're right. It's like, well, I didn't go out there and play. I didn't go out there and coach him up. It is what it is. Sometimes you just have bad games. And, Ty Simpson, he's odds-on favorite to win the Heisman right now for a reason. He's playing some really good football, got the football out of his hands. I thought Tennessee pressured him pretty well early on, just couldn't get home. And finally got home, created that takeaway, which is good, and Tennessee's offense couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, another storyline worth talking about, right? I mean, Kentucky, it feels like on paper, and again, you don't play the game on paper like you just said. You got to go out and you got to play the game, but getting after the quarterback in turnovers. Kentucky really bad in turnover margin. So again, something that Tennessee, when they're playing this Jekyll and Hyde defense, when they're on the right side of it, when they're on the positive side of it, they force turnovers, and Kentucky's been prone to turning over the football. So can you force enough turnovers to make a difference in this game? I just think Tennessee is the better team. I don't care that it's on the road. Go take care of business. Go handle your business. I'm just curious how people feel if it's a 35-27 type of game, you give up points. Or does it even matter at this point? If you go up and you do just allow 6 points, you do blow them out, is it still, well, it was Kentucky, they suck. It just feels like there is so much gasoline on this fan base, and they're just looking around for that spark. And Tony Vitello was close, and we're looking for one more little spark that's going to set this fan base over the edge. Like we are a ticking time bomb right now, and like you said at the top of the show, we need a win in the worst way on Saturday night.
Well, I mean, the baseball portion of this fan base is already there, and understandably so. I mean, you just lost the best coach you've ever had, and the orchestrator of the best stretch of Tennessee baseball that's ever been here. So I mean, I get that, but like, a lot of Tennessee fans still don't follow Tennessee baseball because they just don't care, or just like, oh, well, I'm glad they won, but they didn't hurt me when they lose, or oh, Tony left, well, that stinks, doesn't affect me. There's a lot more Tennessee fans than just Tennessee baseball fans. So to your point, we'll see what happens. And also, like, I don't think it matters at this point. You're going into game 8. Like, you are exactly who you are. You're not changing. Zebras don't change the stripes, right? Like, you're not changing. So going back to what I said earlier, what do you do well defensively? Get after the quarterback, create takeaways. Just do that. Like, that needs to be the expectation. So, like in Alabama, they didn't do that. That's a disappointing showing, right? I mean, I don't care that they allowed 2 touchdown drives of over 90 yards because, quite frankly, at this point in the year, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, water's wet. Like, it's unfortunate, like, because you, literally, and that's another thing people like to remind us of, but everybody said this defense is going to be good. Yeah, literally everybody that mentioned Tennessee football pre- and post-Nico and the drama in the offseason referenced Tennessee football's defense because why? You returned so many, and it was good last year, and you have depth. That's why it's just so surprising, man. It's unfortunate. I know we talk about this every single week, so I'm not going to harp on it. It's disappointing that you are where you are right now. But at this point in the year, you are who you are. So do what you do well, and if you win 35-27, who cares? You won. If you win 35-7, awesome. That's great. Move on. Like, nothing will surprise me at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this offense was a blessing in disguise, right? Nobody was talking about this offense. Everybody was questioning Joey Aguilar. Nobody had confidence. It was all about, can we mirror last season? Can we play good defense and run the football and maybe go 9-3? If we go 9-3, that's a good season. And that's why I've said, man, all week long, like, where were you at before the season? What were your expectations? Most people were at 9-3. I heard as bad as 4-8. I heard a lot of 7-5 and 8-4. And now all of a sudden, we're sitting here with a loss to Georgia, make the field goal, that's a win. A loss to Alabama, you execute, you don't turn the football over, you don't have a pick six right before the half, you don't get behind the sticks and end up with a safety. Your offense gave up 9 points in the first half when your defense gave up 7. Play complimentary football. And I know you always laugh because you say that. And it's like, keep it simple, stupid. If this team could find a way to play complimentary football, they could be really good. Like, they are a college football playoff team. They can beat anybody in the country. But we have yet to see them play complimentary football, and we're over halfway through the season. So back to your point, maybe they are just who they are, and we can hope we can take care of business the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's funny. It's the you saw the offense come out of nowhere, and nobody called that, and nobody had evidence. Like, nobody should have called the offense being as good as what it was because there was no evidence to support it. Again, replacing 4 starters in the offensive line, your entire wide receiver room, your SEC Offensive Player of the Year, and Dylan Sampson, and your starting quarterback that was set to be third year in the program, second-year starter, he bolts in the month of April. So, like, there was no evidence to support any claim that says, I think Tennessee's offense is going to be good this year. Like, no. So when it was, and when it is, and when it's leading the SEC in points and yards per game, it's like, oh, okay, well, expectations change. So those same people that were saying 9-3, and that was my preseason pick as well, who might be frustrated right now and, like, upset because you potentially could win 3 games this year or lose 3 games this year. You're already losing 2 games. Like, it's because the offense came out of nowhere and those expectations changed. And I get that. I get that from a certain standpoint. Like, but I also think it kind of evens out because I thought the defense was going to be great. Defense isn't great. So I think it kind of evens out a little bit. It's, the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs, as Jerry Garantano, now a contributor to VolQuest.com, always says, the ebbs and flows of the football game. And, high and low. That's why, fan short for fanatic. And so I get a lot of it. End of the day, though, kind of as we wrap up this conversation, Tennessee's at Kentucky. Tennessee needs to win big. I want to predict a big win, but history tells me it's going to be closer than I think. I think it'll be more than a one-possession game. I think Tennessee will clearly cover. I think it'll be more than a one-possession game. Give me 40. Give me 42 to. Give me 42 to 24. Maybe that's too much. Maybe that's too lopsided, but that's kind of where I'm feeling right now. And I'll be interested to see because, again, I'm recording this ahead of my prediction that's going to go live at VolQuest.com when I have to really sit down and think about it. But I'm kind of feeling 42-24. Am I off here or is that too much?
That's about where I'm at. You're a little higher than I am. I picked 38-20 on Wednesday night. I think it's going to be one of those games where Tennessee can go score some points. And you're looking at that Kentucky offense and you're telling everybody how bad it is and how they suck. They're going to score just enough points to have this fan base still pissed off and angry as we move forward to Oklahoma week. But look, man, they're terrible offensively, and statistically, they're really not very good on defense either. Like the best they do on defense is run defense, and they're still 55th in the country. They're not very good at getting after the quarterback. They're not very good at playing behind the line of scrimmage. I just think the matchup benefits Tennessee, but this defense is going to give up points, and I've just come to accept it at this point. So 38-20 for me, Vols roll. And then we got a big one, Cainer. We got a big one coming up. Oklahoma comes to town. That's I know everybody's eyeing the Gators, but this Oklahoma game is going to be huge.
Yeah, this was the biggest game on the schedule for me preseason because, again, preseason I picked Tennessee to lose for sure against Georgia and Alabama. I didn't necessarily call – I don't know, we got to go. I didn't necessarily call a loss against Florida, but I called a loss somewhere else, and Florida would make sense because Tennessee always loses at Florida. But I was at 9-3, and I said, okay, well, that's why this Oklahoma game is the difference in 9-3 and 8-4, in my opinion, because that's a good football team. You're playing them at home. It's the month of November. Like, go win that football game. If you don't, you might be 8-4. Was kind of my line of thinking, and I think the health, obviously, of Mateer, the quarterback. It's going to be a big storyline in this game. We'll talk about that next week, obviously. Boogie, you guys are, if you're listening to this early on a Friday morning, you guys are going to go live at 10 a.m. You've had Brent Hubbs on several times this season. Who is coming on to join you today, this Friday morning?
Nobody, because we dubbed Brent as Big Game Brent. We're only going to reach out to Hubbs on the big games. Guess what? Sure. He's now 0-2. He's 0-2 when he comes on the show. So I don't know if we're going to reach out to Brent again for Oklahoma next week. Maybe we should have brought him in and called him Bluegrass Brent this week, and maybe we could get that negative storyline off his name. But just a regular show this Friday morning, 10 a.m. On Saturday. We'll go live an hour before kickoff and then immediately following the game. Sunday night's always a good time. We kind of changed our fan call-in show. See, we're known for letting all the fans come on at the same time, and it's like sitting in a bar and 42 people just talking over each other. And we said we got to stop it. So me and Coach Jay do a rewatch of the game, the same as everybody does that covers this football team. We do a rewatch, and about the first 20 to 30 minutes of that show, we kind of compare our opinions that we had live, emotional, right after the game to what we think with the rewatch. And then we bring people on one at a time. And we tell them, you better bring a topic, something you want to talk about. You got 5 minutes on the clock, and we have a conversation with that one person. We kick them off, bring the next one on. It's been really good the last couple of weeks. A lot of fun on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can wrap that live show up and go over and watch the Rocky Top Rewind. Good scheduling right there, moving it to 9 p.m. Follow Talking Vols. We'll get you warmed up, whet the appetite, and you can go over to VolQuest for the real analyst.
You joke and say that you're not a real analyst, but that mindset of, all right, you better come here ready to play, have a topic, get into your like that is the definition of taking callers. Well, that should be the definition of taking callers on radio. So you might be more professional than you think. All right,
shout out to Jerry. Shout out to Jerry in Bulls Gap. Jerry in Bulls Gap is a legend that we used to laugh about coming home from the games, called into the radio every single week. Jerry from Bulls Gap follows me on Twitter now. I've never talked to the guy, but he's a legend. Sorry.
He's a legend. Boogie, as always, man, appreciate it. And we'll talk Monday morning on your show.
Yeah, Monday morning. We'll catch up. Appreciate it, Cainer.